Hi, I'm Hannah Kirtland, founder of B Corp consultancy Kirtland and Co, where I help purpose-led business leaders grow their commercials and positive impact hand in hand. And we do this by integrating impact into their purpose, strategy, business model, and governance. So that impact happens by design rather than being a bolt-on or a side project. And we also help businesses communicate their impact journey through an engaging and honest impact report. This short video is going to give you an overview of the purpose requirements of the new B Corp standards. It's designed to sit alongside the separate to strategic masterclass where I talk through product market impact fit and why it's the key to scaling impact, our three-phase amplify process and how to apply it to your business, and then insight into the five common mistakes that keep business leaders stuck and how to avoid them. So you'll get most value from this video if you also attended that masterclass, because the models and the approaches that I shared in the masterclass will help you actually meet the purpose requirements of the new B Corp standards. So you will know the steps that you need to take to put theory into practice. Right, let's get stuck in and let me share my slides. Okay. In the new B Corp standards, there is one key overall change that you need to be aware of. So, as you probably know, the old standards operate a points-based system. To become a B Corp, a business must accumulate over 80 points from across five different areas. That's customers, workers, governance, community, and the environment. So, it doesn't matter where those points come from. So, for example, you could be doing loads of work to support your workers and very little on the environment. Or you could be doing loads of work to reduce the environmental impact of your products, but not treating your employees so well. And this has resulted in some controversial businesses becoming B Corps, such as Nespresso and Brewdog. Under the new standards, every B Corp must meet minimum requirements across seven different areas: purpose and stakeholder governance, climate action, human rights, fair work, environmental stewardship and circularity, justice, equity, diversity and inclusion, and government affairs and collective action. So this means that B Corps will have to take a much more holistic approach to understanding and addressing their impact on people and the planet. It removes that ability to be very strong in one area while weak in another. There are some things that every single B Corp has to do. So there's no opt out, and the requirement around purpose is one of these. In this video, I'm going to focus on the purpose and stakeholder governance pillar, and specifically requirement one within that pillar, otherwise known as PSG1. In terms of timing, new B Corps will start certifying under the new standards this year, 2026. Also in 2026, existing B Corps that market products to consumers in the EU will recertify to ensure they comply with the EU's Empowering Consumers for the Green Transition Directive, which comes into effect in September 2026. Any existing B Corp with a recertification date in 2026 has been given a year's grace to align with the new standards. So, for example, my business's recertification date is, or rather was, August 2026, but because of the grace period, we won't actually recertify on the new standards until August 2027. Existing B Corps with a recertification date in 2027 will also recertify in 2027. So that means 2/3 of existing B Corps are likely to be recertifying in 2027 next year under the new standards. And that sounds like a lot of time, but it's not. This work on purpose can take between 6 and 18 months. So if you're recertifying in 2027, you really need to start now, especially if your business is larger or if you've taken on external investment. I've seen leadership teams fracture because they just couldn't agree on purpose. And this becomes even harder when you're doing it under pressure. You're trying to rush through work that should have been strategic, and you've not got the time to really make sure that everyone is involved and bought into the journey. So, what are the purpose requirements? Every B Corp must have a purpose statement, And that purpose statement must set out the specific, positive, and meaningful impact the company intends to make on society or the environment or both. It must have business relevance, be integrated into the business's strategy, be publicly available on the company's webpage, and be approved by the company's highest governing body. Now, making the purpose publicly available is usually pretty easy to meet, and most B Corps do have a purpose statement of some description. The area where many B Corps start to struggle is centering their purpose on a specific social or environmental problem. Many of the purpose statements that I read are very broad rather than specific. So I'll share an example in a little bit. And when it's broad, that means that your purpose doesn't really help to guide decision making. And it's really hard to measure whether you're making progress and making a meaningful difference. Business relevance is another potential stumbling block. So for many businesses, their impact work sits separately from the core business. And it can feel a little bit like a side project, something that a few really passionate people work on top of their day jobs. So not connected to your core product or service, something that risks getting cut when time or budgets are tight. Connected to this, integrating your purpose into your strategy. This requirement is tough, and few B Corps are truly achieving this at the moment. They usually have elements of purpose in their strategy, but it's rare that purpose is the North Star that's genuinely guiding the whole strategy. I also want to flag the final requirement because this could be a stumbling block, especially for larger B Corps and those who've taken on an external investment. Your purpose statement really articulates why your business exists. It determines how you create value and it helps you shape your goals and your strategy. Getting your highest governing bodies, that could be your board, to agree that business success is measured against a social or environmental purpose could be quite a big ask. It can mean a big mindset shift. It really requires them to see social or environmental impact as the primary objective of the business, with the financial success being an enabler of that. Whereas most businesses are still primarily focused on financial returns, especially if they're really honest with themselves. And so I encourage you to really start having conversations about this sooner rather than later and identifying any challenges that might come up because it's a requirement that can really stall work on purpose. I mean, it takes a long time, sometimes up to 18 months. Purpose is also the first thing to work on if you want to have a truly meaningful impact as a business. And this is why I am so excited that it's a requirement of the new B Corp standards. If you want to make a meaningful, positive difference at scale, it's not enough to just do good. So a set of scattered, disconnected activities won't add up to make a meaningful difference on any particular problem. And a risk with the old B Corp standards is that they can lead to what I call a tactical approach to impact. So you can become busy doing lots of really good things like giving to charity, employee wellbeing initiatives, volunteering, but without a clear focus, the overall impact of these activities is limited. However, when you are crystal clear on the difference you want to make, you can be intentional. Your activities can become more strategic, really focused on delivering your purpose. And this results in a strategic, purpose-led approach to impact and a far more meaningful difference given your limited resources. A clearly articulated purpose will make your priorities clear and it will help you make decisions. And it can also really help you engage and inspire your team, and it can unlock new commercial opportunities. The purpose requirements of the new B Corp standards will mean that every single B Corp is like the diagram on the right, focused on delivering a specific, meaningful impact in the world. And the cumulative impact across the entire B Corp community could be huge. And I think this is incredibly exciting. Okay, enough theory. Let's look at these new purpose requirements in action. A purpose statement that meets the requirements of the new standards is from Tony's Chocolonely. They say that Tony's exists to end all forms of exploitation in the cocoa industry. This is really clear on the specific social and environmental impact Tony's has. It's relevant to their business, selling chocolate and cocoa beans, and it's integrated into their strategy. And they demonstrate this on their website and in their impact report. Now for a couple of purpose statements that do not meet the requirements of the new standards. And these are real purpose statements for current B Corps, but I'll keep these ones anonymous. So first, to build and enable high performance businesses. Now, this doesn't articulate a specific social or environmental impact that the business has. The focus is more on their clients. And the new standards specifically state that this isn't acceptable, which is quite a big shift from the old standards, where there is a much bigger focus on customers and creating customer value. And another one, deliver social and environmental impact on a global scale. This is really broad. So it's not specific about the difference that this particular business wants to make that's really relevant to their business and what they do. So now I'd like you to think about your business. Does your business have a purpose statement? Does your purpose statement articulate the positive impact that you intend to have on society and or the environment? And is that specific or is it broad? Is your purpose aligned with what you do as a business? Is it really integrated into the products or services you provide? Is it part of how you operate? So, for example, that could be your employment model. And to what extent is your purpose integrated into your overarching business strategy? The important thing is that this isn't just a compliance exercise. Following this approach is not just something you do to meet the B Corp requirements. Often when I work with businesses, they're really surprised to discover that this work helps them spot new commercial opportunities. It can help you shift from impact and financial success feeling separate to seeing how everything fits together. You'll know how you can make money and deliver positive impact at the same time. From struggling to engage people and get commitment to having an engaging impact narrative and being able to inspire people to join you on the journey. From having no deliberate long-term direction or strategy to having a clear direction of travel so the whole business is aligned and working in lockstep. From being unsure on what steps to take or what to prioritize to being able to prioritize and create an actionable roadmap. And from not knowing how to measure your impact to being able to identify metrics for measuring progress. So if you're looking for support with meeting the purpose requirements of the new B Corp standards, then please scan the QR code above or email me on hannah@kirtland.co. I'd really love to continue the conversation, and I have also shared those links in the description down below. Thank you very much.